Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Formed Podcast.
Formed Podcast.
By Steel City Church. It's so good to be here. This is our first episode, Chris.
Number one.
You
finally got me lassoed to do this.
Finally got you lassoed to do this, yeah. My name is Jacob Creighton, and this is Chris Richards. He's the teaching pastor at Steel City Church. And like you said, this is our first go at it, so we're excited to be here. This is the Formed Podcast. And so the first episode of our series, we're talking about formed to experience the abundant life. But first, kind of want to let our listeners get to know who you are, get to know who I am. So, Chris, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you?
So my name is Chris Richards. As Jacob was saying, I'm a pastor at Steel City Church. I have been a pastor since the church started back in 2020. Was a public school educator for 14 years, teacher and administrator. I was I guess the end of my career, I was an elementary school principal.
Yeah.
And transitioned my family and I up here to Pittsburgh in the middle of COVID, May 2020. And here I am. I like to run. I like to eat.
Yeah.
And I love our people at Steel City Church.
This is what I like to say. He's going from principal to pastor to podcast. So here we go. Here we go.
Oh man.
Yeah. Like I said, my name is Jacob. I'm on staff at Steel City Church. Chris and I work pretty extensively together on Sundays, and just putting our content together for Sunday mornings. And so really we wanted to just bring this into a format that feels like a conversation. We say at Steel City Church all the time that we help everyday Pittsburgh people learn and live the ways of Jesus every day. And so this is just an idea of, hey, how can we kind of get this content out into the hands of our people, into the hands of our community, so that we can just wrestle with a lot of what we talk about on Sundays, just in the normal hours of the week.
Yeah.
So, that's why we're here. And really, this Formed series, I feel like, is just a great launching pad for that. And just what our mission is as a church.
Yeah. I think the highlight there is the everyday people.
Yeah.
And so we want this to be for everyday people.
Yep. For everyday people. So if you're an everyday person listening to this, welcome.
It's for you.
This is for you. So this is an 8-week series through spiritual formation.
Yeah.
I've said there could be probably 500, 5,000, 5 million episodes made on spiritual formation, and we wouldn't really even scratch the surface of what all that it is.
Yeah.
But we're doing 8. We're going to try to tackle 8 episodes that we feel like catches it.
For now. Yeah.
For now. And so, Chris, kind of jumping into spiritual formation, the Formed Podcast, 30,000-foot view. What would you say is spiritual formation?
Oh man. So I would say the 30,000-foot view, the spiritual formation is what our invitation is. It's the piece where so many other places, other religions, other people, it's like, hey, if you can just clean yourself up enough, then you will be a better person, or you will do better things. Whereas we're in the Christian faith invited into being formed spiritually, because we actually have God inside of us. That's part of our salvation. We are indwelled by the Spirit. And so the Spirit forms our spirit to look like His Spirit, to look like Him. And so I think that's kind of a 30,000-foot view for that.
Yeah.
It's not we're a participation. We're participants in this.
Yeah.
But it is the Spirit doing the work on our spirit.
Yeah, and there's so much that the Spirit is doing that we're just trying to scratch the surface on what's happening. Yeah. And so that's what I love about this topic and what we're going into.
Yeah, even putting words to it's kind of crazy sometimes.
I know.
You just end up stuttering a lot of times.
I know. The first, our kind of entry point into this, and this is so good. We're looking at the story of Zacchaeus.
Yeah.
And why I think this so captures the even entry point of spiritual formation for us is we kinda see how Jesus enters Zacchaeus' story. Um, but before we kinda get there, I wanna give you the opportunity. Our listeners, you might have listened to Chris's sermon on Sunday about this. You might be familiar with the story of Zacchaeus. You might have never heard the story of this Zacchaeus, but I want to give you just a chance to kind of sum that up. Give us like a Spark Notes version of the story of Zacchaeus. Just what's going on in his interaction with Jesus.
Yeah, so in the passage, we, use a passage in Luke where we
Yeah,
meet Zacchaeus, and Zacchaeus was in fact a wee little man, and a wee little man was he, as the song goes. But
yeah,
Zacchaeus was a says he was small in stature, he was very rich, and he was a chief tax collector. And so those are some strong indications there that kinda give us some idea of who he is kind of as a robust person, not this, like, 2D character where we start to see kinda 3D of who he is and how he's acting out of, maybe some past or what his current state is, and well, Jesus is rolling through town, rolling
yeah.
through Jericho, and he wants to see this Jesus guy, and
Mm.
so being the small in stature man that he is, I don't
I
think
can
that just
relate, by the way.
what's that?
I can relate.
Yeah, 5, 6, solid right there.
Yeah,
Long story. But, being the small in stature man that he is, he wants to see Jesus. Well,
yeah,
he can't see him. So he rushes ahead and he climbs up a sycamore tree just to get a view of Jesus, and
yeah,
in only the way that Jesus can, as he's passing under the sycamore tree, as Zacchaeus is finally getting a view of who this Jesus guy is, Jesus stops near where Zacchaeus is.
yeah,
Jesus looks up into the tree at Zacchaeus, sees him, he calls him by name,
yeah.
and then I just this is a part that still blows me away. He invites Zacchaeus to Zacchaeus's house
Right.
on the Zacchaeus's home turf. And I don't really know what that conversation was like. Luke doesn't
Yeah,
tell us that, but we see a response in Zacchaeus that is just astounding.
yeah, yeah. That's so good. Side note, the short story that he was talking about with my 5'6", 5'7", uh, I am from Pennsylvania, but a couple years back, I moved to North Carolina. I'm back in Pennsylvania now, but when I moved to North Carolina, I was switching my license over, and on my license, it said 5'7", so you would think they would swap 5'7", put
Of
5'7"
course.
on my North Carolina license,
Yeah.
as you should. The lady at the DMV looked at me and she says, "Hey, go ahead and stand up for me." And I was like, "What? What? Stand up for me?" "Yeah, go ahead and stand up." So I stood up and she's like, yeah, five
Mm-mm.
seven's a stretch. I'm gonna put 5'6". So Zacchaeus was a wee little man, and a
And
wee
a
little man was he. Uh, I can resonate. I can resonate. So I'm like, 5'7's not
What a
even that
great
tall, but
story.
whatever.
What a great story.
Yeah, but to your point, we see Jesus kind of in the crowd of people. He could have, I mean, done anything in the moment, but
Yep.
what we see is him kind of chasing down this man, short of stature, trying to just even get a glimpse of him,
Yeah.
and Jesus steps into, his story and even goes to I like how you put it, to his turf. Um, yeah, so, how do we kinda see that? I know that this might be a quick jump to make, but how do we see, Jesus enter our story in a similar way? Um, what do we kinda learn from the story of Zacchaeus that we can take in our own
I think
story?
there's a lot of indication here of how he enters the story because I think we Luke is trying to give us in his a detailed hand, kind of an idea of where Zacchaeus is coming from. And so
Yeah,
I think that shortened stature is way more than just a indication of his size. We actually see the same word used earlier in Luke when it's talking about how Jesus grew in stature right after he left the temple when
yeah,
his parents were looking for him, Mary and Joseph were looking for him. He grew in stature. I don't think that just means that Jesus was growing in height. I think that
right,
means that he was growing in respectability. He was growing in influence.
yeah,
It kind of gives that indication there. So when it gets to that, and Zacchaeus, it demonstrates Zacchaeus is short in stature. There was something else there besides just his height
right,
that was possibly making him unseen.
mm,
And so I don't think that he was just having a hard time being seen, but he was having a hard time I'm sorry, being able to see, sorry, but he's also having a hard time being seen.
yeah,
And I wonder if that wasn't something that kinda went through life that precipitated him into being a chief
Mhm.
tax collector,
Yeah.
finally having agency, finally having power. And so that's when we see Jesus come in.
Yeah.
Zacchaeus is controlling the situation. He's doing what he's always done. He's going to solve this problem. He's going to make sure he gets what's his.
Right.
He climbs up that sycamore tree thinking, well, this is what I've always do. There's Jesus.
Mhm.
And here Jesus enters
Yeah.
and he stops near Zacchaeus. I just wonder how many people had ever really stopped
Yeah.
near him before.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people with the eyes of Christ looked to him and
Yeah.
saw him. Jesus's eyes are never idle.
Yeah.
And so entered in to see him, to then call him intimately by name,
Right.
and then to invite him on to Zacchaeus' home turf. I can't imagine what that was like, and I just wonder too, like, what invitation we're given so often when we just wanna just view Jesus, maybe
Yeah.
sideshow Jesus, like, "Oh, Jesus, we wanna pray to you to do this miracle, this healing, this, we wanna
Mm.
we need money, we need tangible needs," and here he is stopping by us as we're just watching to see if he's gonna do something,
Yeah.
and he stops near us, looks at us, calls us, and invites us in.
Yeah. And I wonder too, just even from Zacchaeus's perspective, there's a crowd of people. He's he's trying to get a glimpse of Jesus doing something
Mhm.
miraculous. And it might even just be for him to just simply see
Yeah,
Jesus with his own two eyes.
yeah,
But what he doesn't realize is that like Jesus is gonna completely like be face to face with him
yeah.
and say, "All right, here's a new way of living your life." And so that's the crazy part about it. Jesus isn't there just to sign an autograph for Zacchaeus and move
No.
on. Uh, yeah, Zacchaeus has no idea how his life's gonna be rocked by this interaction.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you even see in the response, I mean, Zacchaeus is this he joyfully comes down the tree and goes with Jesus, and
Yeah.
everyone else is
Like, "You
like,
kidding me?
"Jesus, what are
Me?"
you doing? Of all these people, like, you chose him, the chief tax
Right.
collector, the one that we hate the most. He's a sellout. He's short. There's all these other stories I'm sure about him, and he comes flying down the tree like, "No one has ever looked at me, talked to me, invited me like that before."
Yeah, yeah,
And it's mind-blowing for everyone.
yeah. As we're even just talking about this specifically with spiritual formation and formed, like, how is this, like, the most im or how is this the first step of spiritual formation?
Oh,
What's
yeah.
important and significant about that being like, "Hey, this is a crucial moment in Zacchaeus' life, in
What
our lives,"
well, I
you
think
know?
if we take into all the indications that we know about Zacchaeus, we can resonate with all of those.
Yeah,
There's pieces and parts of us that we can relate to Zacchaeus and say, "Yeah, I kinda that's part of my story too." I
yeah,
either was not that kid, or I was the rich kid, or I was the this kid, or I was the that
mhm,
kid, or I was the this person. There's there's no way Christ could do this
right,
for me. I already have everything, or there's nothing that I have that can be given, kind of thing. And so I think we have to come to the realization that yes, that's exactly who Jesus is inviting.
right,
It's you.
yeah,
It's in your story. It's into your life, and I think sometimes we get this wrong indication of who Christ is, that he's looking for, like, cleaned up, nice, put
yeah,
together people,
yeah,
and he's like, "Nah, I'm going for the chief tax collector, that one."
yeah, yeah,
And so we realize that he's stopping near us, he's looking to us, he's calling us, he's inviting us, not onto his turf,
yeah,
he's inviting us onto our turf. He's like, "Imma
yeah,
step into this. We're
yeah,
gonna work on this. We're gonna grow in this."
yeah.
It's just blows my mind.
I imagine probably what was going through his mind is Jesus is probably there for everyone else but him,
Yeah.
and, uh, that's the opposite of the truth, and I wonder how many, people in our neighborhood, our community,
Mhm.
um, families, friends that feel the same, but the truth is the same that Jesus is there for them as well. I think about just what we're longing to see happen in the city, just We wanna see the city of Pittsburgh saturated with disciples, people who know Jesus, are known by Jesus, that follow him. Um, what's just one way that, uh, in light of all this that we're talking about, uh, how could that come into fruition?
Well, I think it's the piece that it's like we said earlier, our mission is that we exist to help everyday people learn and live the ways of Jesus. Well, we wanna saturate Pittsburgh with everyday people that learn and live the ways of Jesus, and I think that's the thing. He goes to the chief tax collector. It that was like the worst of the worst there.
Yeah.
And so if you say, "Well, I'm not that bad," good, then that
Right.
Jesus coming to
Yep.
you too. And
Yeah.
so it's like there who's off limits? If
Right.
he's
Who's
gonna
off
go to
limits?
that
Exactly.
person, no one's off limits for this invitation.
Yeah.
No one's off limits for him to stop near you, look to you, call you by name, and invite you in. I
Yeah.
where's your excuse? You know,
Right.
it's
Right.
I
Yeah,
there's
the starting place, it's just equal ground,
yeah.
and so there are no, prerequisites, I
There
guess, to
climb the
disqualifications, I guess, is a
climb the
better word.
tree.
Yeah, on the tree.
Climb the tree. You know, it's I
Yeah,
guess, figuratively speaking, it's like just have you ever put yourself in a position even to consider that's the invitation that could be given to you?
yeah, yeah,
And I think that's what we do as followers of Jesus is we invite those that don't know about Christ to just
yeah,
consider to go see what this
yeah,
is all about.
yeah,
We
yeah,
live that. I mean, you saw when Zacchaeus, what did he do? But he said he came down the tree and he's like, "Listen, I'll give away half what I have, and the rest of it, anybody I extorted,
yeah,
which was a lot of
a
people,
lot of
I'll
folks.
do 4 times as much." He's like essentially kind of quoting the law there in some ways, but he's like,
Mhm,
that's not something he would ever said before.
no,
He's now behaving completely different. There's something completely different coming
mhm,
out of him
yeah,
than what was before. And everybody else is like, "Whoa, this chief tax collector that ripped my family off for years is wait, what?
yeah,
I wanna know whoever did that,
yeah,
whoever formed that or shaped
yeah,
that."
yeah, yeah. That's just, I mean, that's just the entry point into it, and I'm just excited to see, I mean, still think and believe that Jesus is seeking people out like
Mhm.
Zacchaeus in our world today, in our community today, and so I think that's our hope is just to see, uh, several in our community that would know Jesus in this way, that they
Yeah,
would be known by him and seen, and say, "Hey, let's go. Let's start a journey together." So
yeah.
yeah, so that's it. That's week 1 Formed podcast.
One.
Invite you to join us for our next episode, and we'll continue this journey together. So thanks for joining us.